Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome, welcome. You know, every entrepreneur and small business owner knows the importance of having enough qualified leads or prospects. Without qualified leads, there's no quality appointments. Without quality appointments, you can't have presentations that allows you to build value in your product or service. And without that, no sales, no revenue. In a world today where cold calling is dead, it's up to each and every one of us to figure out how to generate more business for ourselves and stop blaming the economy. Today on the show, we're going to be talking to marketing expert, founder and CEO of eSyncs, Drew Franzo is on the show. Pick up some tips from him. We're also going to be talking to entrepreneur real estate guru, Amy Norris is back with us. She'll be talking to us about what's going on in the real estate market, and then my dear friend Margot Bush is going to be back co-hosting. Margot Bush. We have an amazing show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Stick with us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Margot Bush, my co-host. Margot, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing super fantastic. I'm saying super fantastic because I have some friends in the audience that we haven't spoken to in about 15 years. And it was back in the day when I was in sales and I ran sales companies. And that's what we were always trained to do is there's only two answers. If somebody says, how you doing? If you're doing well, you say, super fantastic. And if you're having the worst day ever, we were always trained that if somebody said, how are you? I'm doing unbelievable. Because that can kind of be read either way. So for their benefit, I'm doing super fantastic.
That's why your brother says
He always does it. It's
always,
old habits are hard to break.
Yeah.
16 years of doing it. And this episode, you know, is really particularly hits home with me because we're going to be talking shortly with Drew Franzo, marketing specialist. And as some of you know, I've actually been asked to be in a documentary that we've actually started filming already.
That's right.
Called The Social Media Experiment. And the premise of the film is to, you know, it's taking this entrepreneur that has had some successes, but is like clueless when it comes to social media.
And that's you.
So I started doing this, and in the book that I've been researching and the people that I've been talking to about my newfound career, they say that an hour of really focused media is equivalent to, say, 15, 20 hours of the old school work on the phones, doing what I used to do. And when I look back, I would spend, you know, 30 hours a week hunting, working the phones, doing all that stuff that a lot of small business owners do. And then I would spend about 20 hours a week working that business. And I started thinking the other day, you know, if I had 3 hours a week of focused business, I could generate the same amount of revenue. And that's absolutely phenomenal to me. So I also wanted to bring out our dear friend, Amy Norris. Actually, as we know, Amy is the best. Real estate, she's like #1 in the state of Alabama, this area of Florida, northern Georgia. She just kills it. And as we know, you know, so many people in real estate are having tough times. And from what I hear that some things are kind of changing. And I want to find out what the latest is. So please welcome our dear friend, Amy Norris.
How are you? Good.
Hey.
Hey, good to see you again, Amy.
Hey.
Now, Amy, tell us what is going on. I was bragging about you a minute ago. I know that you just kill it. And we've talked before about what the difference is between what you're doing and what other teams are doing. I know you have a whole team under you that supports you. And one thing is you said that you absolutely dominate when it comes to the internet.
Yes, lots of different sites, Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, Homes.com, and then there's 500 other websites that we advertise on. So it really is the name of the game. About 95% of people go online and look first on the internet real estate before they ever call an agent.
Yeah. So instead of actually going out there and hunting, trying to get business, you're just creating a big, you know, really an image out there to where you're making it very easy for people to find you.
Absolutely, and we do give free information, free market reports. A lot of the problems, if you go to those sites like Zillow and Trulia, you'll look up at your house and you'll say, oh my goodness, how did they get the value for my house?
Right.
Or my condo? That's nothing. Well, what they do is they take previous sales, the tax data of what the tax assessor says, but it isn't just your neighborhood. It's maybe if there's mobile homes or the highs and the lows. So it really isn't an accurate picture.
Sure.
What people need to do is either contact their realtor if they don't have one, us, and we can provide free market data. And it could be as specific as your neighborhood, or it could be just general market trends like per zip code. So, you know, if they don't have an agent, have them visit amysellsthebeach.com or the amynorristeam.com. And that's
You're everywhere. Just Google Amy. She'll probably come up. But give us a couple of quick tips that we can do in terms of everybody says that it's kind of a, you know, it's a buyer's market, obviously. What can we do if we're looking to buy a piece of property? A couple of tips.
Okay, well, like I mentioned before, think about what you really want, who's going to use it, how often you're going to use it, what you're going to use it for, what amenities you want. If you have kids, do you want a good school? Do you want a pool? Do you want, you know, do you want to be on the water? Do you want to watch the boats go by, or do you want to look at the turquoise water, the Gulf?
Yeah.
Think about those things. If you are selling property, I always recommend, I tell my sellers, lock up your valuables, you know, be careful of personal information. We do not have a lot of crime in this area, but we don't want it to happen to anybody, so lock up your valuables. And then the other thing I was going to tell you for the tip of the day, let's see.
Just pick one, because I know there's about 30 roll around in your head.
Yeah, there was, oh, I know. A lot of people wonder how realtors get paid. Some people think that, oh, our company pays us and we work by an hourly fee. No, we are professionally compensated through commission. Now, having said that, a lot of people, that might intimidate them. Most agents, Dan, are very good people. They're not going to try to get you to buy a property you don't want to buy. We're in it for the long haul.
Right.
But just keep in mind that if they tell you, oh, make sure you like this neighborhood, or are you qualified, that's why. And they do, like, you know, we really do value loyalty. So.
Sure. And, you know, I read an article that there's a lot of things out there saying, you know, cut out the agent, you can sell your home yourself. But actually, facts show that when you use an agent, you actually retain much higher, you know, value in dollars and cents on the house than cutting the agent out.
Yeah,
they're trained, they're professional.
Yeah, there's lots of reasons to use an agent. Even when you're building a new house, some of the things I recommend are still get a home inspection. You wouldn't think that if you're building a new house, but sometimes even the builders may miss something. So to protect the buyer, get a home inspection. And there's a list of lots of different things that I can email on general contingencies that buyers and sellers want to look for in a contract.
Right.
They're very important.
Now, overall, let me ask you real quick, general temperature of the market, do we see it coming back for the seller?
We do. Inventory is really down. It depends on the neighborhood, the condo market, the housing market. It's very specific for each thing. I've seen some condos where inventory has dried up and prices are actually going up. I've seen other things where, you know, they're still kind of low. So it really is it really varies, but I would say if you've been on the fence and you're looking to buy, now's the time.
Now's the time.
Now's the time. I wouldn't wait much longer.
So we see a little rebound coming back.
Yeah.
That's great news. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. Amy Norris, everybody. We'll be right back with Drew Franzo, everybody. Come. Thank you. Our next guest is actually a marketing guru, internet specialist. He's going to tell us, since the world is changing so much when it comes to leads and particularly sales, how we can actually get more capture and actually generate more revenue. Please welcome Drew Franzo, everybody.
Glad to have you.
Thanks for making the trip, man. Drew, I'm glad you made the trip. It's about 3 hours for you, from what I understood. And we spoke a couple of weeks ago on the phone. And I had mentioned in the opening of the show, I'd started this documentary about social media. And I found you in a magazine talking about, and of course, the New Orleans area is a huge area, that your company was #1, won a bunch of awards. And I don't know what, it was after hours, if you remember, I was sitting there and I said, I just want to talk to this guy. I picked up the phone and you happened to answer also. We just somehow just got right to each other. We started talking and I said, you know, this is somebody that I have to have on the show. Tell us a little bit first, a little bit about your background, where you come from.
Definitely. Graduated from Mississippi State University in 2007. And then from there went off to the New Orleans Center for Creative Arts, me and my wife, out of college. It put us back down in Slidell, where I was kind of born and raised. Worked there, basically did all the marketing there, and that gave me really my chance and really experience to do what I always knew I wanted to do, which is own my own business. And then actually decided to make the jump when my wife was pregnant with our second one, and said now's the time. Now everything's lining up for me to own my own business, to start my own business, and decided to make the jump for it.
Well, tell us a little bit about your company, eSyncs. I mentioned in the opening about leads, and obviously cold calling is dead. Mm-hmm. In fact, I read recently that one really specific focused hour on social media is equivalent to maybe 15, 20 hours of the old work on the phones, hunting the sales like I'm accustomed to. Do you think that's pretty accurate?
That's beyond accurate. When we started up eSyncs, really the core goal was to build out websites for clients. But we found that exactly what we were just saying is that a lot of these clients didn't want to do the sales, didn't want to get out there and do it. And social media, email marketing, these tools are so vital for businesses nowadays. And this is something that we help with now on a day-to-day basis, is managing this for clients and helping get those leads, because it is so valuable.
Well, and once you don't realize this, but I got this kind of wild hair and I said, that's it. I was convinced that the last two people I hired to do my social media knew less than I did. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy a book, I'm going to reach out to some and I'm going to do it myself. And I set up all my social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of that. And then I realized I had a big problem on my hands.
Now what?
Now what? Because you have to keep up with it. And without a very specific plan or having professionals involved, it seemed like the more social media I did, the more I had to do. And it was very easily where I found myself spending 3-4 hours a day, 5 hours a day saying, this is taking over my life. And I'm not a professional. I need to focus on what I am a professional at and leave this to somebody else.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is to do it right, to do social media right, to do these different social platforms, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
You really need to invest time into to do it right. And a lot of people just don't have that time. They have their own business to run, and running the day-to-day operations, they don't have the time to do the marketing and do the marketing right through all these new channels, which takes time just to learn.
Yeah, and I know that for a lot of people say when it comes to social media or when it comes to anything, content is king. But particularly in this field, it really is. What does that really mean for you in your field, content is king?
The biggest thing is just putting out good information to your customers, to your clients, and putting out information that they want to see. Don't be in their face, sales pitch after sales pitch on all these different platforms. Put out a good message, put out informative, educational bits, and this will get people to you, no matter what the platform is, whatever's next after Facebook, or whatever it is. Put out good content, and they'll want to get involved with you.
Well, you know, I actually read the same exact thing you're saying, that even though there's well over 1 billion people now on these social media sites, I kind of came in just a few weeks ago and I thought, you know, is it too late? Maybe I missed the boat. A couple of years ago, I should have gotten involved. And the point that and I've been talking to some of the high ups that, like yourself, that are, this is what they do. And they made the point to me, they said, you know, even though there's so many people involved technically that have social media sites, 99% of the people out there are still doing it wrong. And the reason why is they're either begging for business, hey, come check out my deal I have going on, or they're begging people to, hey, check out my open house, or they're begging for leads. And that's really not the key. Like you say, the key is putting out value, giving away free content, getting people used to coming in and taking that content, and then now they're Facebook requesting you or linking to you saying, hey, what do you do?
Right.
And they come to you.
Perfect example is even the Super Bowl several weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oreo hit the nail on the head. These other companies spent millions and millions and millions on television commercials. Oreo's, they didn't spend a dime on it. They had one tweet that went out when the dome went pitch black, and they sent out a little image graphic on the fly about being able to dunk your Oreos in the dark. And this got so many retweets on Facebook, on Twitter, that they were really the star of the show, and their marketing budget for advertising really was very minimal.
Probably a fraction of Budweiser and Doritos and all the big boys. Well, I want to take a short break, but when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about the social media sites that are out there and what you feel like our viewers can do to make a difference in their business. More, and when we come back, we'll be right back with Drew Franzo, everybody. Thank you. I'm here with Drew Franzo. He is the founder and CEO of eSyncs. and we've been talking a lot about how things have been changing and marketing and social media. And I was telling him during the break, you know, I've been doing this really focused. I set up a Facebook account probably 4 years ago, and it would be 6 months between updates. So I can't really say I've done any social media, but I've really been focused for the last month. And I'm already getting people coming to me like I'm some kind of professional saying, can you set this up for me, or how does this work? And I'm like, I don't hardly even know what I'm doing. But although everybody really claims to be doing social media, what that really means is they might have an account set up, right, but they're not using it effectively. And do you see a lot with your clients like this?
We do. We talk to clients every day about just this, is maybe they have a Facebook page already set up that it's now dead, or they have one, they had a bad customer experience or something that posted a comment and it's been sitting on their page for the last 3 months. And this is something that a business, that they set up a page, set up these different profiles, they really need to monitor to make sure things on there are what they want to be seen by everyone else out there.
So if we have, and let's talk a little bit about these sites, because you hear so much about Facebook. Do you feel like, and I don't want to sway you anyway, but do you feel like Facebook's the best social media out there for entrepreneurs, or do you think there's something better?
Facebook, above all the others, has the mass of the people there. So if a business can only has the time to do one platform, I would highly recommend going the Facebook route. Other than that, it's either Twitter or LinkedIn, depending on who your business is, who your potential customers, clients are. You might want to steer one way or the other with Twitter or LinkedIn, but Facebook is definitely the one to.
Well, I got to say, I uploaded and I'd love your take on this. I uploaded a free app called Hootsuite, and it's made it a lot easier because, you know, I'll go on to send a message, I'll type out a little message, and then I'll click. I have 2 Facebook accounts, a LinkedIn, and I think 1 or 2 Twitter accounts. Probably not good. But I just click on all of them, and it sends it to everything, and I don't have to work so hard and getting on each and every social media site. But so we have, of course, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and then there's a new thing out there called, is it Pinterest?
Yeah, Pinterest is out there, Google+. There's a few ones that are kind of out there trying to be the next big thing. Pinterest is more geared to women, kind of crafts, that area, and then Google+ is Google's version of Facebook that Google's trying to launch. Is kind of the two.
Okay, so if you have only time to do one thing, probably you say Facebook's the one that's out there the biggest. But don't you feel like for small business owners that are struggling, and I meet a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs that they say, you know, I'll do whatever it takes. But when I go there, we'll sit there 6-8 hours and they're not doing much of anything. So if possible, we probably want a Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter account if we're a business out there.
If you do set them up, the biggest thing, if you do set up all these multiple profiles, is just to keep an eye on it. Even if you have this mass message that goes out to all these different channels, you still want to know what's coming into the different channels. So that is very important as well.
Well, and so let me ask you a question. I have some friends, and one I just spoke with the other day, but I have a friend whose name's Ed Harding. Ed Harding, many people know he was Tony Robbins' first mentor. He's 69 or 70 years old. He's a great guy, lives in Southern Cal. And he'll call me and he'll be like, Dan, how the heck do you keep all this crap straight? You know, he goes off on me like I have the solutions, but he's like, geez, I got to figure out something. I don't care what it costs. Find me somebody to do this. You know, and he's as frustrated as I am, but for some reason he thinks I'm going to lead him into this solution. But for somebody like myself or Ed Harding, really we could just pass the ball to you guys and say, look, handle this stuff for us. I presume we'll have a weekly call or something. Well, we'll give you some things that we want to say or some content. You guys just keep it up for us. This isn't our wheelhouse. You're the professionals. Let us focus on what we're good at and go from there.
And that's exactly what basically eSyncs has molded into. When we started up, it was all about websites being built out. But after meeting with these clients and really learning their businesses, they didn't have that person to really manage it for them, to really do it right. And that's where it kind of, eSyncs is now molded into not only websites, but the day-to-day management of these different platforms for businesses.
Which is a lot, because even as you mentioned your site, with something like this, we have to change it almost you know, a couple times a week, and we guests that are coming, it really does add up to a lot of work. Now you mentioned too, marketing. I read online that your marketing will actually help clients create a buzz. What is the buzz that your company can help somebody create?
The buzz is really just it kind of the term that we kind of coined at eSyncs, and it's really just the conglomerate of all the different ongoing day-to-day management of services that we offer to these clients. Really what the end goal is for any client is just to get their name out there to all these consumers, to get them talking to you, get them interacting with on your Facebook page, retweeting posts that you throw out on Twitter. So the biggest thing is just creating a buzz, just like that, for your business so people can find you.
Well, and you mentioned a little bit backstage about diversifying a little bit. And I thought of that, and that really made a lot of sense to me, because what if, something like Facebook went out of business? I have 1 million followers on Facebook, and something like that, one of the social media sites, as we know, even the biggest of companies can have individuals within the company that just take it down. And what happens then if all of our followers were on one of those social media sites? So we want to kind of spread out, and I think of it almost like financial advisor, where you're kind of spread out your portfolio amongst several things, and you have more of a plan going in. And also for clients out there that are new, I know that you'll not only keep up with these things, but do you get into at all, like even press releases or anything like that, or is it just?
That is something new that our business has gotten into, because that's where a few clients we've spoke with really need that service. They don't, again, have that person in-house. So that is something that definitely we're kind of moving into, because it all ties together so nicely.
Yeah, it does. So you're kind of a one-stop shop. Call eSyncs, they're going to take care of it.
That's what we do.
What I like about what you guys are doing, so many entrepreneurs come to me and they feel like they need a lot of capital to get started. They're saying, and that was a field that I was in. They say, I need $5 million. In the last 2 weeks, I've probably been hit up for $15 million of just 3 different people. That's what they need to get started. And I know from experience that some of the greatest companies out there were started with just little more than sweat equity. What was the situation like getting started? Did you have a big dispersion of capital come in to help you guys get off the ground, or was it more of the grind getting started like everybody else?
It was just out the gate running. I wanted to keep overhead as low as possible starting out, as I really think any small business just starting up should do. So we had a back bedroom at my house, started up there, bought a computer with all the softwares and different programs on it that I needed, and basically worked out of my back room for the first about a year. And then it came the time to where we needed that conference room, that professional look for meeting with some of the higher end clients. So that's when it made sense to move into a real office space. But
and now that's grown into a larger staff, and you're pretty full swing now. But but you started out virtually bare bones and grew it into a very profitable company. Good job. I know you guys have won numerous awards, probably too many to mention, but I know one of your big things is now giving back to the community, and which I really appreciate that. Tell us a little bit about, is it Train of Hope?
That was an amazing program. Being from just outside New Orleans, I mean, we all know what Katrina did to the area. So when Hurricane Sandy hit the East Coast, 2 public leaders in our community, Donna O'Daniels and Kim Bergeron, started up this program where literally there's an Amtrak station in the middle of Slidell. They loaded up a train full of supplies, full of all this food, everything, and shipped it up to New York for these clients.
Awesome.
But they called up literally the morning before they had to start getting things prepped and said, Drew, we really need a website to get the word out there, to get registrations going. So within a matter of 12 hours, we had the site up and running for them.
Wow.
They were featured all over the news, so it was an amazing success story and an awesome event.
Well, good for you guys. You guys are definitely doing it right, and I'm telling you from experience, just what I've learned over the last month, if you're not really involved with social media, an hour a day is equivalent to an easy 15, 20 hours a week of the old hunting sales type thing. Drew, how can people find you and your company?
You can find us 2 areas on our website, www.esyncs.com, or on Facebook, facebook.com/esyncs.
esyncs.com, or check them out on Facebook. Again, Drew, such a pleasure having you on. Come back, would you?
Definitely.
Guys, that's our show. We appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to get involved, as Drew does, with your local community, and be forgiving of others. Good night, everybody. Hi, I'm Dan Vega, and thank you for watching our channel. I want to take a second to tell you about a resource that's helping thousands of people across the country, Blue University. Blue University is the premier online business school for entrepreneurs and business leaders. You know, if you find yourself in a day-to-day grind where you've lost your joy or you're just tired of struggling, then check out blue.university. That's BLU.university. I can promise that you receive nothing short of a multi-million-dollar education. And if you want a completely different life in 3 to 6 months and a way to create wealth in 5 years or less, then again, check it out. That's BLU.university. Find out why blue is the new color of success. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel or to give us a good rating, but that's only if you see value. And when you do receive value, make sure to share it with someone else. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.